In 2006, two unlikely friends became the heroes of Radiator Springs. But on their next big road trip, they're not only racing across the world, they're racing to save the world.
What the Flick, everybody? Ben Mankiewicz from Turner Classic Movies and What the Flick.
You wear so many hats. It's amazing.
Christy, Associate Press, Ebert Presents at the Movies. How's that going? Well, right?
It's so great. Please tune in. Check your local listings.
Alonso Duralde from the Linoleum Knife podcast and from also writing a DVD column for movies.com. Just think we need to refresh everyone on what we do.
Finn McMissile, British intelligence.
Coal mighty, average intelligence.
Pixar back, and a big, nice story. I mean, an important story behind this because it may be at the one spectrum of the Pixar movies, correct?
It is at the really, really far opposite spectrum from every other Pixar movie ever made.
Cars 2.
Cars 2, yeah. Cars 2 is a sequel to Cars. This time, Lightning McQueen.
I knew I'd seen those characters before.
It's not like Troll 2,
That's
which is not the sequel to Troll. There are actual cars in both movies. Lightning McQueen, voiced by Owen Wilson, has been asked to take part in this International Grand Prix. He drags along Miter, the rusty aw shucks tow truck with a heart of gold, voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. There are multiple other plots and things going on in here involving alternate fuel sources, and it's also a James Bond spoof. Take a look.
Go McQueen!
10-4, Mater.
I'm on approach.
Roger that.
There he is! He's getting away!
Hang on.
Yeah, go! Whoa! I knew I should have done carry on!
Cars 2.
I'm bored again.
You're bored just from the trailer alone?
Yeah, just from a little slice of the trailer.
It's very shiny and full of action, though.
Oh my God, it was so long. It seemed like it was 4 hours long. It kept ending. You know what would have made it better? A couple of more car races.
Yeah, they're all interchangeable.
God,
it's really repetitive.
how many were there? 8?
4?
They just
Three?
kept going on and on. But even when it wasn't an official race, they were driving fast somewhere. It seemed like, I know it's called Cars 2. I'm not a moron. But
lest you suggest in the comment section of this,
Yeah.
Ben is a moron.
And also, I'm sure people will suggest, it's a kid's movie, leave it alone. This is a Pixar movie.
Right.
Pixar movies are movies that kids can enjoy on one level and adults can enjoy on another level. They're for the most part, well-written films. They're smart. They're about interesting things, and they can convey their little messages about, friendship or, whatever in a smart way that won't make your teeth hurt. This is not that movie. This movie is a whole lot of Larry the Cable Guy, and if you are not a fan of Larry the Cable Guy, prepare to be in agony.
Yeah, I like how you and I both went home to our respective spouses and said the exact same thing. A little bit of Larry the Cable Guy goes a long way.
Yeah. I mean, you point out, when I came out of the theater, and I guess we all saw it in the same place at the same time at the wonderful El Capitan Theater there in Hollywood, big Disney theater. And a couple of kids came out and they were like, "That's awesome." And I'm like, well, I guess, okay, they love it. But, kids like any animated movie. Like, it's a ridiculous measure. There's no animated movie that kids don't like. They would like an animated movie about Mussolini,
Kids like that peanut butter and jelly that's in the same jar.
Totally. They think that's
I
awesome.
like that. That's really smart.
Yeah.
It's efficient.
Il Duce, right?
Yeah.
You make that movie and they're going to be like, oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, but this more than any other Pixar movie really is pandering to the littlest kids, but it's also trying to cater very transparently to the ever-expanding international movie-going audience by having it take place in London and Paris and Tokyo, and that seems like one really obvious thread here. But then you also are trying to cater to Middle America by putting Larry the Cable Guy front and center. But then you're also trying to have this alternative fuel message.
Right.
The villainous cars are all about big oil, and alternative fuel sources are a better thing, and
Yeah, but I was
doing
actually
all these things at once.
Here's the tragedy for me is that I got a little confused by the plot of Cars 2.
They give you a flow
I
chart.
couldn't quite tell whether at the end that maybe sort of the alternative fuel source people were also a little sinister. Like, were we getting beaten over the head with the message that alternative fuel is the right way to go?
Yeah, because the bad guys are scheming.
Right, they were scheming to
with
get
oil.
oil, but then I thought there was a little mocking at the end of alternative fuel. I didn't give a crap, but
No. We'll explain. I'll explain it to you. I don't want to do any spoilers.
Right.
But yeah, this is a movie that exists because it wasn't. I mean, the first Cars did well. It was not the biggest Pixar hit, but it is the most successful Pixar merchandising movie. Little kids all have their, bed sheets and their, sippy cups and whatever.
Right.
And so the reason this movie exists really is to sell a whole new round of beach towels. My partner Dave White on Linoleum Knife suggested that they should just give away tickets to this for free because the movie is not where they're making their money. It's on all the toys and the plastic crap with the names of the cars on it and the bucktooth tow truck. That's where the money comes from.
That's a great point. When did the first movie come out?
2004, 2006.
2006. That I think that makes sense because not long after that, I bought a car, which is I think exactly what you're saying.
Got you.
Yeah.
Was it a car with teeth? Because Alonso wants to know why the cars have teeth if they don't eat. I think it's a great question.
It's a totally fair question.
Can we talk about the fact that John Lasseter directed this?
John Lasseter is
Loud. Can you guys hear that? My stomach is growling so loud.
Your stomach just.
Somebody's hungry.
Your stomach did not like Cars.
Oh my God, I'm still
mine
reeling
too,
from
but
it. No,
silently.
but like John Lasseter, Pixar mastermind, comes back and directs this second Cars movie. Does it in any way have the imprint of somebody who should know what quality is?
Well, it looks great.
I mean, really
there's no knocking the look of the film. The animation is gorgeous. The all the sort of sweeping vistas and the international cities and the cars themselves are beautiful to look at.
Shiny and tactile.
Exactly.
And all that,
yeah. I mean, it does feel like something you could reach out and touch. But oh God, the writing. And again, this Pixar is so good at the writing. Like there's a million animation studios out there that know how to get all the little million hairs on the woolly mammoth or whatever, but these guys know how to write scripts. Not this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think we throw the word genius around. John Lasseter's something of a genius.
No
Visionary.
question. No question.
Visionary. I mean, he's one of the most important people in film in the back half of the last century and the first part of this century. This one's not very good. It's okay. It doesn't change his status at all.
People are asking me, like, what does this do to the Pixar name? I'm like,
Nothing.
nothing. It's just an anomaly.
Yeah, it's an anomaly.
It will make money. Small children will love it. Parents won't necessarily feel like they've had their heads stepped on for 2 hours, but from a critical standpoint, and you were saying on Rotten the Tomato meter, it's already kind of
it's already down
plummeting.
to 40 now.
40%.
40
Yeah.
now.
And usually they're like hovering around 100 for a long time, and then like someone like Armand White or whoever
Exactly.
knocks it, it comes like
98.
97 or whatever. Yeah.
Let's say one thing real quick about Larry T. Guy, because he's like Klinger. Because on MASH, you'd like Klinger. It was funny. She dresses in women's clothes, talks about Toledo, tries to get a section 8. But nobody would have watched Klinger. And
that's why After MASH didn't last a season.
After MASH was awesome. And that's the thing with Larry T. Guy.
Yeah, it's worth noting. I mean, this movie is not about Lightning McQueen. He is pushed to the side. This movie is about the tow truck getting involved in like international espionage with a car that talks like Michael Caine. So it is not like Owen Wilson with the sidekick. The sidekick has taken over the franchise.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, numbers.
3.
It's still Pixar. It still looks great. I will go 5.6.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised that. I gave it a 4 because it rhymes with bore and snore.
Whore. Which we're all doing every day.
4.2 rhymes with whore. All right. Thanks for watching.
Sorry, lady.